understanding your competitors and making sure that you don't just have this big idea that you're gonna be able to do this, but nobody else in the market has done it. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Hayden Crabtree. I'm the author of this best-selling commercial real estate book. And in today's video, what we're gonna be talking about are the top 3 things that I look for in any real estate deal. I want this to kind of serve as a high level, back of the napkin. If you're going out and you're looking for real estate deals, these are the first 3 things that I look for before I go into any deal. Even before I start underwriting it, I just want to check the boxes. Are these 3 things available? The number 1 thing that I look for whenever I'm going to any real estate deal is the ability to go in and understand the market. Market comes first. Now, I know you guys want to look at a deal and get really excited about cash flow numbers, but before you ever dive into, hey, what kind of returns is this property going to generate for me as an investor? The number 1 thing you need to look at is what market is this sitting in? As I talk about in my second book, the black one, you can really kind of compare the real estate deal and market to a horse race and a jockey, right? If you want to go out and you want to bet on a horse race, there are really 3 things that you need to understand. Number 1 is the track that the race is happening on. How long is the track? What are the conditions? Is it wet? Is it dry? That's the real estate market, okay? You need to understand the market before you can get into the second thing in a horse race, which is the horse itself. What kind of bloodline does this horse come from? What kind of shape it is in? Does it have any injuries? That's the deal, right? The third thing you need to look at if you're gonna bet on a horse race is the jockey. Who is the jockey? Is this their first race? Have they been racing for a long time? Do they have a track record of winning? And that's the equivalent of you, the investor, okay? So the number 1 thing that we're gonna look for inside of this is the track. We want to look at the market. If I had luxury apartments in a town where everybody there only made $30,000 a year, let's say that my luxury apartment rent was $4,000 a month. That's $48,000 a year. So how many people, sure, maybe I have 50,000 people, but the average person is making $30,000 a year. How many people within that market can actually afford to pay me $48,000 a year in rent? So you have to understand your product in your market, and that's the number 1 thing we look at. I also really like to look at what is the job market's doing within that market. Is this a place that people want to move to? Is the population increasing, decreasing? Why, if either of those things are happening? And so number 1, before I even consider a deal, what is the market like? The second thing I look for is the ability to add value. Now, this goes for me in particular. This doesn't have to go for everybody. Again, in the second book, we talk about the 4 different kinds of real estate investment strategies that you can do. Number 1 is a turnkey property. Number 2 is a stabilized property. Number 3 is a value add property. And number 4 is a development or redevelopment. I like to play in number 3 and number 4. The reason that I like to play in number 3 and number 4 is because I want to be able to not just buy real estate and sit there and earn 6, 7, 8, 10%. I want to go out and I want to buy real estate where I can earn 25, 30, 40, 50% a year. These deals that really accelerate the wealth that you're going to build inside of real estate, and those are value add deals. So whenever I'm going and I'm looking at a deal, and it doesn't have to be the same for you, but I'm just telling you my personal lens in which I look at things is, how am I going to add value to this deal? I can add value in a lot of different ways. The first way I can add value is I'm gonna buy this, the rents are $100, and I'm gonna raise the rents to $150, right? That's just called below market rates. The next thing is maybe they have 1,000 units and only 600 of them are rented because the current owner doesn't know how to market the property, and I can go out and maybe I don't raise the rents, I just rent out the rest of those 400 units that aren't rented. Or maybe there's 100 units in place, they have land to go out and build another 100 units, and I can go out and build those additional 100 units for less than what they'll be worth whenever I'm completed, and I'm gonna add value that way. There's a lot of different ways to add value in each of the different real estate, from self-storage to multifamily to industrial to retail. Like, there's a ton of different ways to add values in every single asset class. And so normally what that means for me is I'm looking for off-market deals, because on-market deals that, are listed by a broker, deals that, are trading on a 6 cap or whatever it may be. A lot of times these deals don't really have the ability to add value. When you want to add value, things are a little bit hairier, right? If you're buying a deal from somebody who is a good operator, a good investor, a lot of times they've already added all the value there. And so what that means for us as value add investors is that normally we're going to be buying a deal that has a little bit of hair on it, right? What I mean by hair on is maybe they don't have all their leases in place. Maybe property needs some work. Maybe they don't have a website and all the reviews that are on Google for them are terrible, right? These are the kind of things that have hair on them. And a lot of times those are, for me, I see those and I go ding, ding, ding. This is an opportunity opportunity to add value. So the first thing I look at is market. Second thing I look at is the ability to add value in some way or another. So the number 3 thing that I look for is what I'll call is the why can I, right? Why can I do this? Why can I add value versus the person who's already doing it? And essentially this is just an ego check for me, right? If I think I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna buy that facility that is, currently rented at $100 and I think I'm gonna go rent it for $150, the answer is why can I do that? Why hasn't the original owner done that, and why can I do that? And so really what I'm looking for is outside data to revalidate the idea of what my business plan is for this property that I want to buy is true. And so we'll do this why can I's as we'll go and look at competing properties. So everybody knows I love self-storage. What that would mean for me in a why can I is, let's say that I was going to buy a facility where all the units were renting for $100 and I'm going to go rent it for $150. I want to go out in the market and I want to prove the why can I. So I want to go to all the competing facilities who have similar products, and I want to do what I'll call a secret shop them. What that means is I go and I act like I'm going to rent a unit from them, and I'm going to understand what their experience is like. Is their property 50% nicer than mine? Is their manager 50% better than my manager is going to be? Are they doing a 50% better job of marketing than I? And essentially I'm just comparing myself to my competitors. That's kind of the first step, is to understanding your competitors and making sure that you don't just have this big idea that you're gonna be able to do this, but nobody else in the market has done it. If I go out and I secret shop competitors and I understand, I can replicate exactly what they're doing at this business a couple miles down the road who's getting $150 or maybe $170 a month, then I'm gonna know and feel good about that's why I can do this. I can do this, I can raise the rents from 100 to 150 because the place down the road is doing it, right? It's not an internal, like, I think I'm great, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna raise these rates. It's, no, why can I do this? Because they're doing it down the road, because they're doing it over here. Now, if I were to go down to the place, the competitor down the road, and they were doing everything great, and there was no way that I could beat their facility, there's no way I could have a nicer kitchen than them or a better location or whatever it may be, then maybe my why can I needs to be checked. And I need to say, okay, well, I can't do that, right? Because they're not doing it down the road, and it's not just gonna magically happen for me. I'm living in a capitalist world, which I love, and I'm competing in this market. So I need for the market to tell me why. Why can I do this? Because people are moving into this town who have an average household income of $80,000 a year, and people are willing to spend 2% of their income on this type of unit. That's why I can do it. Is there forces outside of just me thinking I can do this that prove that this can be done? And a lot of times all you have to do is you have to look around in the market at the data of the market and the competitors within the market to prove to yourself whether you can do that or you can't do that. And so check those 3 things before you get into your next real estate investment. If you guys want any help, pick up either of these books on Amazon, or you can get the red one absolutely free, links in the description. Do me a favor, if you like this video, if you want more real estate investing content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next video.